Anyway,
Yes.
next match, I think it was you watched Piper Niven, I think, and
Yeah.
what's her name? Candice? Is it
Piper
Candice?
Niven versus Candice Lerae with Nikki Cross, and
I've
this
got it
was
on right now. I got it on here at Lila Studios right now. I'm watching it.
all right. There we go. And this was only a 3-minute match. Now, keep in mind, like this is me because I've seen very. I don't even want to say minimal. I've never seen Piper or Candice work. So this is me
You
being
got to
like a
get with the
first time
times,
viewer.
man. How are we
Well,
gonna do Mind to Mondo if you've never watched any of these people before? Come on.
I know, right? Freaking pity me, man. Horrible. But this was actually me, like when I was watching critique of the match, this was me being a first time viewer. So, and as they always say, you always want to educate your audience to as if they were a first time viewer and then treat it as such. So you can educate them and tell a story that's proper need be, if that makes sense. You know what I mean?
I just saw the finish.
Yeah. So I'm just going to read my notes here, if I may. So start off the match. Boom. Candice takes a tackle. And this kind of goes back to what we were talking about previously in the previous match. Candice takes a tackle off the bat. She gets smacked in the face. She gets choked. Then there was a slip behind where Candice kicks to Piper's leg, followed by a crucifix into a sunset flip, followed by a neck breaker with no acknowledgement what was done prior. And it kind of goes back to all my matches, that I've been talking about with you as far as what we were just saying. Take any case scenario. Say I got you in a freaking chin lock, Vaughn, and I'm getting heat on you, and you work your way up, and you give me 3 elbows, and you hit the ropes, and I give you an elbow, right? We always forget about what's done prior to us, right?
Yeah.
If you gave me 3 elbows to the stomach, and you hit the ropes, and I stopped you with an elbow, I'm going to take a second to register, to acknowledge, right, what just happened, and then my facials and my body language is going to tell the story. And now I have a reason to change gears and capitalize on my heat. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So, but I think that's a very common mistake that a lot of people make that I see these days. And, I'd like to kind of see that corrected if I was the producer of the match.
Hashtag Mind to Mondo.
Hashtag Mondo, baby. Absolutely. You know what I mean? And that just comes from slowing down. When you slow down, you can actually bring all those attention to details to life, so to speak, and I think that's what really is going to culminate your story and make everything mean something. And when everything means something, people get emotionally engaged a little bit more, and that's what kind of separates really the pros from here to there, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So that's just something that I just think is lost, and I think that needs to be brought to the students at the performance center's attention, in my opinion, because you see it all the time. It's like a move will happen, bam, and then they'll cut them off, and then they'll forget that move ever happened. But if it just takes 1 second just to put it over, just to register it, before you move forward. And that's called, I think, working for the match. And when 2 people work for the match and 2 people try to outsell each other, that's the best kind of art that I think you can create. And those are the matches that people are going to go home remembering, because you put everything over, you sold everything, and everything comes full circle in the end. If
Oh yeah, man, I agree.
Yeah. All right. So moving forward, and I think, by the way, Piper has a very unique look. She's very much different than the average girls out there on the roster. She hits the senton. She grabs a hold with minimal facial expressions and minimal body language. When she's working when she was working a Cobra Clutch, she needs more presentation to her stuff, aggressiveness. She released her in the corner for no reason. Like she just like kind of threw her off in the corner. Now, in my opinion, when you see Piper, like again, she looks very much different than the average girl, on the roster. She could have hooked that Cobra Clutch. She could have picked her up. She could have swung her around, get those facial expressions for the cameraman to really zoom in on her, and then just out of nowhere, she just kind of shoved her off into the corner. Now, to me, that didn't make any sense, because what did the babyface do to justify that? It's one thing if the babyface now gave her an elbow to the stomach, right? Now she has a justification to throw her off into the turnbuckle and to kind of turn up her heat, instead of just kind of side shuffling her out of nowhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I thought she could have worked that hold a lot more. Could have got a lot more out of it. Um, and also gives a chance for the commentators to put her and her opponent over and really tell that story to what's going on in the ring, because it's not what you're doing physically. If you're doing something physically in the ring, the commentators don't have a chance to really put over what you're doing in the ring because they're always worried about commentating and talking about what the next thing is coming like that. But if you're in a hold and you're settling stuff down, they could really like have a chance to tell your story, put you over, put your opponent over, and to really kind of give the people watching at home a full case scenario on what's going on. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, do you know? I mean, I think you just said it was your first time watching Piper work. So she had been Dewdrop in the past, and she was with another girl. And then I can't remember what all happened, but she'd been around for a while, and then she left. I'm watching the Cobra Clutch right now, and then she had left for quite a while as Dewdrop, and then came back, and they gave her old name Piper Niven or whatever. And I thought they would be pushing her now, kind of as a monster heel, but I mean, she lost this match, so I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I think that was a backdrop to what business was going on with Nikki Cross, I think. So I think that was the main point of what they were trying to get there. Kind of further business with her and Nikki Cross.
I guess, but then there's two baby faces. I thought Nikki Cross was a heel. I guess she's a baby face. It was two baby faces against one heel then, and the baby faces won 2-on-1, apparently.
Yeah. Yes, but not really, because she really didn't get involved to the finish, which kind of will bring me back to my later point.
Yeah, but that's what cost her the match. It was the finish. When she got involved is why she lost.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, she got rolled up.
Yeah. To me, the match came across very paint by number, as it was called in the back. It was lacking feeling and emotion. It felt like it was stuff in between the moves that was kind of missing the most. Let's see here. I put in parentheses, explain how they could have gotten more out of the finish through Nikki Cross and the barricade. Okay, so Nikki, pretty much Piper like rolled out of the ring and like she like beeled Nikki Cross into the barricade. And then she like immediately walked into the ring, only to get schoolboyed right away.
She walked in the ring and then turned back around to look over the ropes.
She didn't even turn back around. That's why I'm saying it was almost like paint by number. It was almost like, okay, this is what we're they called the match in the back and they recited it pretty much exactly what they called in the back into the ring without adding those commas and periods that were needed when the match was going on. She could have easily done the same thing, beeled Nikki Cross into the barricade, right? Put her attention on Nikki Cross, give those facials, take a second or two to let the commentators put over what's going on in the backstory, slowly back up, slide in the ring. Don't turn your attention to your opponent, because your attention's fully on Nikki Cross, and then kind of get schoolboyed out of nowhere. And then that's where the animosity comes in when the 1, 2, 3 happens, you know what I'm saying? And really come full circle in the end. But instead it was boom, Beal in the barricade. I'm going to sprint to the ring, slide in the ring, get up, get schoolboyed. And it was just missing all that little stuff that I think could have made the finish mean that much more. You know what I'm saying?
I'm going to say this.
It's not what you do, it's how you do it. If that makes, you know what I'm saying?
I'm going to say this and then take heat for it. But I see this not in maybe the big time women's matches, but I see this in a lot of women's matches, especially early on in the card. Not maybe the Charlotte Flair, Becky Lynch, the big time matches, but I see it a lot with the women that it looks like they are just exactly what you said. Just going, here's what we got laid out. Maybe we only have 3 minutes. We got to make sure we get this all in exactly how it's laid out. So here we go. Boom, 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 boom. Hit our time. Done. No emotion, no putting anything over, nothing like that.
Honestly, man, you know what the solution is to that? You do a little bit less. That's all you do.
Yeah.
Do a little bit less, and you put more of the emotion and the stuff that happens in between the moves. Implement that a little bit more, And honestly, I had a match. Honestly, I had a match, my return match, right? Couple, and I was even thinking to myself, man, we got 10 minutes. I'm like, do we have enough? But I'm like, you know what? Nah, 4 or 5 things. That's all we need. Like, let's fill in the blanks with the storytelling, with the emotion, with the facial expressions, with the body language, with the selling, with the grabbing of holds, with the working of holds, with acting and reacting to what me and my opponent is doing. That's gonna fill in the blanks, you know. And I think that's what they needed to do right there. Just kind of what we were talking about with everything that was going on in the beginning and stuff like that. They could have cut out that shine a little bit more, and just register and sell each other a little bit more, and then kind of keep going from there. They know the business that they have to get across. Just make sure that gets across in the end.
Yeah, like Rip says, she's winning. She doesn't have to get the shine in, really.
Yeah, exactly. If she's winning, which that actually goes on to my next match. But you're right. If she's winning, then you know what? Then what does she really have to get in at the beginning? Just make your freaking baby face, because the more you make your baby face, the more heat you can have on the finish. And just work on it. And TV is different than working house shows. You have the blessing of camera shots, floor cams, hard cam. You got the blessing of commentators to allow you to elaborate and tell your story. Let them tell your story for you, because I guarantee you with what's her name? Damn it, Piper. With Piper just grabbing that hold and just having a ring around Candice like a rag doll. God, what the commentators would have done more than their job to make her look vicious and freaking more devastating than anything could have done physically.
Right.
And all she did was grab a hold. It was no punches, there was no kicks, there was no stomps, there was no power bombs, no freaking, whatever through a flaming table that would have got her over even more than just the commentators putting her over, because that's what the people are listening to, that's what the people are engaged to, and that's what they're going to be emotionally involved in.
Yeah, I'm with you, man.
Yeah. Sweet.
I got our final match. I got it on right now. Right here live at studios. I have it on the TV. Just gonna check in real quick. Yeah, purpose of the match. Charles the Hammer, Buckshot Kid in the house. Vet says, but if that producer gives them all that shit, they are pressured to get it in. He thinks. What do you think about that? Like if they're, if so in that match, you said even just do less. What if that's the match layout from the producer, so to speak? Are they pressured to get all that shit in? Like, will they catch heat in the back if they don't get their match by numbers in?
Well, pretty much what I'm getting out of that is that was the match laid out by the producers and what they wanted to do, specifically ABCD. Is that correct?
Yeah, like if it is, are they under that much pressure to get that in that amount of time, and maybe that's why it looks just hurried and rushed and they're not putting things over?
No, I don't think so. I think they all probably got to collaborate about it. I'm sure that the girls had their piece to say about it. The producers had their opinions about it, and then they all kind of tried to pretty much come up with the best case scenario. But honestly speaking, I don't know the experience level of those two women. But me having a trained eye of 20 years and have been there and has failed and succeeded, I would have had a different layout on how I would have approached the scenario. And I would have been like, okay, well, how about we do this, but let's maybe exnate this and this, because this is the business we're trying to get across. And let's really try to get the feeling and emotion behind each thing that we're really doing, and have the story come full circle in the end. That's kind of how I would have approached it. But that's just me having experienced that and how I would have went about it. But again, maybe they never experienced TV at that high level. So they were probably maybe just like, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay. And I understand that because I've been there, done that. And at the end of the day, you want to collect the paycheck and do what they say, Right. So as Rip would always say, learn how to work. And then when you get up there, do what you're told.
Check, don't bounce.
That's right.